So I'm joined now by Stalybridge councillor Sam Goslin. Now, some of you might know Sam from the Stalybridge Labour Club, which he's run successfully for a few years, but he's setting out on his own with a new venture in Stalybridge. So first of all, welcome, Sam.
Hi Lee, you okay?
Yeah, good to have you. So do you want to tell us a little bit about Zero's Bar and what it's going to be?
Right, so Zero's Bar is going to be a live music venue primarily. What it is I was having a think during lockdown and I was getting not a little bit frustrated, but like ready to move on almost. Like I feel like I'd done what I needed to do at the Labour Club, and I was looking for my own bar. And then I ended up having a conversation with the owner of the building of Zero's Bar, and he's basically trusted me to create a venue for him. Now, the idea of Zero's Bar is to be a live music venue. It's got an indie theme. If you come in, you'll look and you'll see it's very indie looking. But the idea is new music. So it's going to be live music every Friday and Saturday night, and they're going to be original bands, free entry, and you're going to see brand new music every weekend in Tameside.
And it's something that Tameside doesn't really have at the minute, isn't it? I know we've got some of the established venues like the Witchwood and places like that, but you're looking to sort of find Tameside's new bands, aren't you?
I think that's mainly what the frustration was. I mean, places like the Witchwood are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong, I love the Witchwood, but they've gone, very much down the line of, tribute bands in the last few years, and bigger bands do play there, but it's hard for a new band to get a booking at the Witchwood. It doesn't usually happen, and Poppin' Hyde are doing some good things as well, but the reason I want to do it here is I just think there's a massive gap of having, a place for new bands to play. I mean, even to the point where we've got a wall at the back of the venue, right, where we've asked all local bands to send us, T-shirts, posters, and we've featured them on a wall. So we've got like a big wall with Cobain Jones, Narrow Margin, Oceans on Mars, Carol Youth. They're all up there, and we want it to feel like it's like their venue almost.
Yeah, like a home ground for football sort of thing.
Exactly.
Like you just mentioned a couple of people there, but Tameside has some immense talent, doesn't it, in the songwriting and music industry?
I think the last few years have been ridiculous almost for Tameside when it comes to local music. I mean, Frida, who are my favourite band at the moment, from Mosley, are incredible. They're doing some incredible things. We've got Narrow Margin, we've got Carol Youth, we've got Cobain Jones, obviously, who's blowing up.
Who's playing on our station. He's in our rotation.
We've got so many at the moment. Tameside's like spitting out these bands. But I think that's a credit as well, to be fair. I think that's a credit to the local schools. I think, schools like West Hill and Longdale that I know of, they're just two that I know of. And Hyde, I know Hyde High School, the band New Revolution, they all go there. And the thing is, all these schools are putting on these great music programmes at the moment. And because I remember when I was at school, it was more a case of, it was all theory, and it wasn't a case of, let's go and hit a drum or let's go and play guitars. And that seems to have changed massively in schools. I think now you're getting all these bands like Modern Business, like they all went to West Hill, and, you're getting bands that are growing up together in school, forming a band. And I think it's great. It's
fantastic, and it's not just musicians, is it? We've got plenty of talented sound engineers, everyone involved in the production.
Yeah, definitely. Manchester's like always, had its credits for music. It's always been the place for music anyway. But I mean, just to have places in the centre of Manchester now, like BIM University, and that are just dedicated universities for music. And I mean, I've got people here who have contacted me to have gigs here, like they're just BIM students and they just want gigs, and Manchester's just filling at the moment with young singers, and I think it's going to be a really bright future for it.
So tell us a little bit more about Zero's Bar, because we first spoke about this before Christmas, didn't we? So it's been a long slog, impeccable timing to try and start a bar during the one of the biggest lockdowns of the entertainment venues I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the frustrating thing, I suppose. I mean, we made the decision to start the bar like during the first lockdown, and we thought, we've got plenty of time, we'll sort this out. And the original opening day was Halloween last year, and then obviously the second lockdown came into effect, or third lockdown, whatever it was by that time, and it's just been a massive frustration for us. But again, it's give us time to, tweak things, get things better. I mean, we've even changed the whole, we've changed, big things in here that weren't going to happen if it would have opened in October. So it's kind of been a blessing in a way.
So what are you looking at for your first event? When's opening day hopefully going to be?
So yeah, fingers crossed. Opening day is going to be. We're doing an invite-only show, just to thank a few people and invite people like yourselves, like media people, on the 20th of May, and that's Cabane Jones with a young singer called Maddie Spencer, who's just a young girl who contacted me for a gig out of nowhere, and then Dave Sweetmore's going to be DJing. That's on the 20th on a Thursday, and then we open to the public on the 21st on the Friday, and the lineup for that is almost sorted. It's not ready to announce yet, but it's almost there, and I will be announcing it all on our social medias. But the thing is, for us, it's just a matter of getting people to come here regularly. I mean, it's okay coming for a one-off gig, but that's not what we want. We want this place to be like a hub for musicians, for young people. Live music every Friday and Saturday night, and it's free. Like, you won't pay to get in here. You'll just see a live band every weekend. And we've also got another exciting thing we've got the nightclub downstairs, which we're really lucky to have. It's a full old school nightclub, and we're turning that into Tameside's first and only indie nightclub. So it's going to be very much based on, the nightclubs in Manchester like 42s and the Venue, and you're going to come in and you're going to listen to stuff like Oasis and Nirvana and things like that, and rock music. You're not going to have any Motown or anything like that. It's going to be a very much indie rock nightclub.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because I know obviously Staley Bridge has got huge previous for, nights out and things like that, but he's not really had something like this before.
No, Staley Bridge the thing is with Staley Bridge, I mean, it had that peak a few years ago, with the Staley Vegas thing, and then that went a bit sour, I think, and, we kind of wanted to get away from that. But in the last couple of years, I really have noticed that the nightlife in Staley Bridge is the best in Tameside by a mile. We've got some great bars, we've got some great clubs, but they're all focused on the Motown, the house music, the dance music, the pop music. There's nowhere really that focuses on this kind of music. And I do think that's why there is a gap in the market. And you've got all these young people who are going literally every weekend, jumping on a train and going to Manchester, going to 42s, going to the Venue, going to Fifth, places like that, because there's nowhere in Tameside for them to, for their type of music. So hopefully that's what we're going to be.
Yeah, try and keep them local. So I know you've done things like this at the Staley Bridge Labour Club, haven't you? Has that been a good grounding to sort of find your feet and decide what you want to do for this bar?
I think Staley Bridge Labour Club for me was a massive project. I mean, as you know, obviously I'm a Labour councillor, and I was working at the Labour Club just part-time on the bar at the time. And then when I got the opportunity to take over, I snapped their hand off. Now, I took over and then I had a vision of what I wanted it to be. And there was some, resistance a little bit. But to be fair, the directors, they literally backed me all the way with what I wanted to do, because I could prove that it was working. We'd do one event, it'd work, so it let me do what I wanted. And we got to the point where we were putting gigs on and selling out 200 tickets. I mean, we had Carol Youth on and Modern Business and people like that, and we sold out. But then we very much went down the line with the Labour Club of, going to the older audience almost. So we were doing Motown nights and Stacks of Soul. I mean, we were the first place in Tameside for Stacks of Soul to play in the last 10, 15 years. And we sold it out. And I tell you what, we could have sold it out 3 times. It was just ridiculous. So I think that's the way the Labour Club's going to go now, because my partner's took over the Labour Club now. So I'm still going to be, I can't let go completely, because I do still feel like it's mine a little bit. So I'm still going to be involved a little bit, but my partner's took over. She's going to continue the great work they've been doing there. And we're going to focus mainly on the new music here.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how both venues develop, isn't it? So it'd be remiss if I didn't ask you before we go about Rock the Food Bank that's taking place this weekend. Do you want to just tell the listeners a little bit about that?
Rock the Food Bank's it's 3 years now. This is the 3rd year. It was when I first came into the Labour Club, we created that for the first year. I mean, I joined the Labour Club in October, and the first Rock the Food Bank was the January. And it was literally just a case of me getting as many bands as possible, charging a tenner on the door and seeing what we could raise for the food bank. And we got 1,500 quid in the first year, and then the second year was similar, and then this year obviously we've had to do it differently because of COVID. We rightly can't have gigs inside at the moment with that many people, so we've done a live stream. So the people at MCC Studios in Mottram have given us a studio to use for free of charge, which is really nice of them. All the bands and sound engineers have donated their time for free. We've pre-recorded it. It's ready to go. It's being edited at the moment, and it's ready to go out this Saturday night. It's £5 a ticket, and it's going to be the tickets are available on our website www.zerosbar.co.uk.
Oh, well, Sam, that's brilliant. Can't wait for the opening. Looking forward to listening to Cobain, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you. Thank you very much.
Cheers.